by the dawn's early light. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket drag bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Very well done. The race set to begin. Steve Harvey just handed me a card that says Miss Sprint Cup is with Matt Yoakum. Matt?
Chris, you can certainly feel the excitement down here on the grid. The drivers a few moments ago here at intros, the crew members pushing the cars to the grid, and especially all the fans here tonight. And I'm joined by Miss Sprint Cup Juliana. So what does Sprint have for all the fans that's new and exciting for 2016?
Yeah, well, fast racing is kind of a given in NASCAR, but now the competition is not limited to the track. Sprint is proud to have the fastest network. Our Sprint LCA network actually has faster download speeds than most of our national carriers competition. And right now, if you switch to Sprint, you can get up to 50% off of most AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile rate plans. So fans, you can check it out and switch to Sprint, sprint.com/save 50%.
Speed's going to be the big word of the night here at Daytona. We'll check in with Miss Juliana later tonight in Victory Lane. Chris?
Thank you, Matt, and the Sprint Cup. And there is Keelan, whose father, Kevin Harvick, the only repeat winner in the last 9 Sprint Unlimited races. 83 days since they raced, 25 drivers, and unlimited possibilities. Fox NASCAR live from Daytona. Welcome back live, Daytona Beach. The weather, it's cool and crisp. We're all anxious to get things going. Denny Hamlin, two-time Sprint Unlimited winner, and coming off the knee surgery, back with Michael Waltrip. Michael, you were actually out on the track driving a little bit earlier. What's the vibe talking to some of the drivers?
Like I said earlier, people are concerned about how these cars are going to drive around each other, what they will do when they get in that draft. Chris, you can't imagine how that air buffets these cars around. That'll be a concern.
75 laps, a break after 25, and the focus already. There's Danica Patrick, who starts 12th. Let's take you back trackside for the command.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Daytona International Speedway ticket holder for over 30 years from Clements, Maryland, Dean Guy.
Race fans, are you ready? Drivers, start your engines!
It's a great sound echoing from the south, the 2016 NASCAR season. And Mike, Darrell, you got a rookie in the booth. Our 16th season for Fox NASCAR. I hope you guys are buckled in.
Well, we are, Chris. We don't have to pull a yellow bumper strip off. Well, at least not just yet. Jeff, the first segment of this race is no longer than 25 laps. It truly is a sprint.
It really is, and that's what makes this race unique. You saw the look in the eyes of those drivers. Yeah, it's focus. They're nervous, and that's because this race is intense. The aggressiveness that you have to put into this race, and it's not just in the first 25, but you're going to see it in the first 25, and you're really going to see it at the end of this race.
Darrell, 25 drivers in tonight's field, no rookies, half of whom crashed out of last year's Unlimited.
Well, you know, Mike, it's interesting, and Jeff just alluded to it, the anticipation of the start. Yeah. You come down off turn 4, and you know that green flag's getting ready to wave in the air, and your heart is pounding out of your chest, and your hands are sweaty, and you just don't know if you can stand it or not. But there's something magical in the green flag. When that flag goes down, and now you focus, and all those butterflies go away, and you do your job.
That's funny. In the car, in the booth,
everywhere.
Much the same.
Butterflies everywhere. Line them up and hope.
We are ready to bring you the Sprint Unlimited. Engines have fired. We're ready to race in Daytona, live on Fox.
we have been waiting all winter to crank it up.
Daytona. It's the start of a fresh new year, and nothing kicks off Speedways quite like the Sprint Unlimited. Who will endure this time around? It's time to gear up and get ready to roll.
Welcome back to Daytona as the last car pulls off the grid. That is Joey Logano. I'm told -5 degrees the wind chill in Connecticut tonight. Sorry about that, because here in Daytona Beach, it is a balmy 52 degrees. The winds, as they have all day, are coming out of the north-northeast at 10 miles an hour. And clear skies. Let's start up front as we take you through tonight's sprint starting grid. The crew chiefs drew for the starting positions. Don't blame the driver. Jimmy Johnson, winner in 05, drew the pole. Brad Keselowski, runner-up 2 years ago. We'll start outside. A.J. Allmendinger finished 5th here in 09, as did Kyle Larson last year. Ryan Newman, runner-up in 2005. Casey Mears, 4th last year. Martin Truex was last year's runner-up. Clint Boyer, 8th in 2012, his best effort in the Unlimited. Kyle Busch, the 2012 winner, and Austin Dillon, 17th last year. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Danica Patrick drew side by side. How about that? Matt Kenseth, last year's winner, and Paul Menard finished 12th in 09. Denny Hamlin, 2-time winner, along with Greg Biffle, who was the runner-up in 2013. Eric Almirola and Brian Vickers substituting for Tony Stewart. Carl Edwards finished 3rd last year. Casey Kane, the 2010 runner-up. And Kurt Busch, the 2011 winner, with 3-time Unlimited winner Kevin Harvick. Dale Earnhardt Jr., a 2-time winner, and Jamie McMurray, a 2-time runner-up. And Joey Logano, 3rd in 2013. His crew chief drew the final starting spot.
What do you say we talk to Brad Keselowski here, starting on that front row? Brad Keselowski, it's DW here in the Fox Sports booth. You got us, buddy. Hey, Brad, it's DW in the Fox Sports booth. You got us, bud?
Yes, sir.
Brad, these Penske cars have been pretty fast on the restrictor plate tracks last couple of years. You got a great car. You're a great driver. You got a great starting spot. What do you think we'll see tonight, buddy?
A great show. That's what I think you're going to see. I love this opening night feel of running the Unlimited, and got a really fast car here with SKF Ford Fusion, so I just want to get it to the front and win the first dang race of the year. That'd be a lot of fun for me, and I know my team has worked really hard to get us in this position, and I want to make it happen.
Well, like I said, you're starting on that front row. Keep it up there all night, and good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. That's the plan. Have a good night out there.
Roger.
Let's get down to pit road and our NASCAR on Fox All-Star pit crew, beginning with Jamie Little.
Well, Mike, anytime we come here to Daytona, it's hard not to refer to the 88 and Dale Jr. as the favorite, and for good reason. He's won about everything there is to win here, including twice in the Sprint Unlimited. Now, Jr. has been a happy man all weekend long. They have brought some fast race cars, but he is starting in the back, 23rd. Sit back, though, and hang tight. He's going to the front, and he's going quickly. Vince?
No driver in this field tonight has won the Sprint Unlimited more than Kevin Harvick. He's done it 3 times. But it doesn't matter where you finish tonight. The only place that matters is first place. The team does have items on its checklist for this Daytona 500 rehearsal, but it is all about winning. And nobody here tonight has won the Sprint Unlimited more than Kevin Harvick. 25 cars in the field. He'll start 22nd. Matt?
Vince chasing back-to-back Daytona 500 victories takes a back seat, at least for the next 90 minutes, for Joey Logano, because the first item on his agenda, his first Sprint Unlimited victory. His best finish here was 3rd 3 years ago. Now he is starting back in 25th, shotgun on the field, but the good news, Dale Earnhardt Jr. starts in the row ahead. Many predict Jr. may have the best car in the field tonight. They're going to aggressively work their way to the front and expect to see them working that high side. Logano says strategy tonight, it's all written in pencil. Mike Joy.
Thank you, Matt. The winner is chasing a $200,000 payday from a total purse of almost $1 million. It's a 75-lap race to be broken into 2 segments. There will be a caution at lap 25. There's a look at the total purse. Strategy, oh, strategy, and do we have one of the best in the business to help us with that, Larry McReynolds.
Well, Mike, let's take a look at our race analysis. Pit road speed is 55 miles per hour. The fuel window is about 40 to 46 laps, and then we're going to have unlimited overtime, something new in 2016. For the most part, we're going to keep doing it till we get it right. But Mike, on that race format, you talk about that caution at lap 25. By the time they get them to pit road, that'll be about lap 27, 48 to go. That is just outside that pit window. I'm worried about strategy, but listening to Daryl and Jeff, I'm just worried about making to the end of this thing.
Well, Larry, the first segment is 25 laps. Should we not have a caution somewhere before then? The pits will close with about 2 laps before that caution flag. Might anybody duck in early, or will everybody come at the caution?
Yeah, they're going to all come at the caution, I think, Mike, because what NASCAR will do, they will close pit road about 2 laps before that caution to keep someone from doing that very thing.
Rodney Childers and Chad Knaus, 2 of the best on the pit boxes. Here's Chad giving the 48 team a pep talk.
All right, guys, welcome to the 2016 season. This is an awesome little scrimmage opportunity for us here right now. Let's go have ourselves a good day. Everybody at home, sit back, relax, enjoy the event. It's going to be an exciting season.
Well, so far, he's the winningest crew chief this year in Daytona. He drew the pole for this race.
He did. He's feeling pretty lucky already in 2016. He talked about a scrimmage, talk about a warm-up. I can tell you, as far as these drivers are concerned, it's not going to take long for them to warm up, because by lap 1 they're going to be up to speed about 200 miles per hour going into turn 3, and they better be ready to go because they're going to have to hold on tight.
You see the lights are out atop the safety car, so we'll go green this time by. That is the 2016 Toyota Camry XSE leading the field to green.
Mike, I also think it's cool that Chad mentioned the fans. And I tell you what, the fans are here tonight. The stadium is beautiful. What a great race, and everybody watching at home, thank you for joining us on Fox for another great season. Looking forward to it. New teammate here with Jeff Gordon, me and Mike. We're pumped up, and the cars are up in turn 4, coming down here to maybe get the green this time by.
I tell you what, I'm loving this fan experience being up here with you guys. This is such a great view, such a great place. I feel the energy and the excitement. I cannot wait to see this green flag drop and see what we're going to, the kind of action we're going to be a part of here tonight.
Have those knuckles turned white yet? Just about.
They're about to.
All right, pace car makes the hard left turn onto pit road. We're ready to go.
Yeah, we're going to get this year started off right. Going to send these boys and girls off. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
You heard Brad Keselowski talk about getting out front. He's starting on the front row, so it'd be odd for him to say that, but he's really talking about getting that push from behind, getting that line to get organized and get in front of Jimmy Johnson and then control this race as much as he possibly can.
Keselowski,
right now, yeah, he's gotten out there, though.
He was quick on the brake, didn't have any drafting help.
He needs
now
a push,
he does.
and he's getting it. That's what, that outside line's got the push right now. He's pushing Brad right to the front. That's what he was hoping for, but 48's fighting back hard on the inside with 47 car A.J. Allmendinger trying to get up there to help him.
Yeah, Larson decided to take that outside lane, get up there behind Brad, and now you start to see that 48 car fall back. They'll start to get more organized and come back up through there. I feel pretty confident of that. I'm looking at the back. They're 3 wide back there. You know that Dale Jr., Jamie McMurray, there's guys back there that do not want to stay in the back, and they're going to come to the front.
Woo, buddy, they're 3 wide coming through the tri-oval right there. They were wassing all over the place.
Keselowski leads 24 cars around turn number 2, double wide for 5 rows, and then triple wide from there on back.
Jeff, I know it's hard to run 3 wide around here, and it's got to be nerve-wracking when you're caught in the middle. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can do that on the straightaway, but you can't do that in the corner.
That's what makes this race so crazy, so wild, because everybody knows that this is a test session, but we want to win. And in order to get from the back to the front, you're going to have to take them 3 wide or even 4 wide like we saw right there.
Well, right now, everybody's feeling really good about their car. Oh, she's handling good.
From 8th on back, they're 3 abreast.
You got a little bit of a breakaway up front with this first 3. You'll see they're 2x2 behind that. And basically, if they stay in that form, Those front three might be able to get a little bit of a breather, a little bit comfortable, but as soon as those lines behind them start to form up, here they come.
And that would be NFL.
Whoa, whoa.
Ryan Newman down to the inside, and Brian Vickers in that Mobile 1 car shot up the racetrack
like
to the outside.
A little help from behind. Somebody maybe bump drafting down the back straightaway on lap 2.
Mike, these cars are hard to handle on the straightaway. They're light in the back end. When you bump one of them, they're liable to get sideways.
You know, something NASCAR did last year, the year before, they reconfigured these bumpers and the way they line up. And we used to see a lot of bump drafting and tandem. We don't see that anymore. Now these cars have a lot of trouble trying to bump draft, and they'll really get somebody out of shape.
Look at the yellow and red car of Joey Logano. He started last, 25th. He has climbed to 17th, but he is right in the middle of the storm.
Well, that thing was wobbling a little bit there off turn 2 that time. It's just, I think Michael mentioned in the opening, the turbulence from these cars. It's like being in a storm. When we talk about you're in the eye of the storm, that's what it feels like.
You know,
Jimmy
we've really
Johnson
seen that
down low, no help.
We've really seen this outside line form up very early here. I did not expect to see this happen. And those guys in the bottom lane, unless somebody gets down and gives them some help, and here comes a couple of them, might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Did you see Danica, though, in her hands were, I mean, she was fighting the wheel of that car, trying to stay in line. That's how much the cars move around.
New colors for Patrick, light blue and white. She's in 6th place. And her number 10 behind the 3 of Austin Dillon.
Well, Danica Patrick in the 10 had some really good practice speeds, and her average speed for 10 laps was one of the 4th best.
I tell you, the one that is on the move that's been aggressive at the beginning of this race, that's Jamie McMurray, all the way up in 4th position. He started right alongside Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the final lap, and there he goes again.
Going for 3rd, and he almost took the bumper corner off of Casey Mears.
Well, I think Casey Mears got loose, and that allowed Jamie McMurray in the 1 there to dive to the bottom, and here he goes. He's trying to get up here to the lead.
Now he's side by side with his teammate, Kyle Larson.
And you'll see that move that Jamie McMurray made right there. Basically, that whole line gets, they sort of stall out as you get into the corner, and he just took advantage of that momentum and that stall out, and he got to the left rear quarter panel of Casey Mears, and it almost turned Casey sideways a little bit, but also allowed McMurray to really get the momentum and shoot by him.
Yeah, as long as you got that inside like that where you can dive down there, what's the problem is that when that happens in front of you and you got nowhere to go, that's when you have a problem.
Chip Ganassi's cars running 2nd and 3rd behind Penske's Ford with Brad Keselowski.
Now, Mike, I like to talk about the bubble of air. And right now, that 2 car is in front of the bubble. All those cars behind him are creating a big bubble of air, and that bubble is pushing him along. If they could ever break through, they might be able to get by him. But as long as he sits out there in front of that bubble of air, they just push him along.
Now, Clint Boyer coming up the inside in the 15. Trying to get a little help. That's his same number and colors as last year, but a new team, and he's in a Chevrolet. There was contact between Kyle Busch in the 18 and the Brian Vickers in the 14.
Vickers has had his hands full with this little car. He's already had a couple of shunts.
And you got to remember, he's not been not only in a race car, but on a restrictor plate in a restrictor plate race in a very long time.
Not since last year here at Daytona, right?
And these cars have changed a lot, and they do things that you just don't expect, and you need to be on your A game right now.
Let's sometimes just being out of the car, you forget just how aggressive you have to be, especially in this particular race.
Let's watch this replay and see if the 18 in it.
18 on the outside. Vickers got pushed up into him, it looks like.
Looked like the Logano and the 14, the 22 of Logano, the 14 of Vickers, they actually got up into Kyle Busch.
Vince Welch.
They say that Vickers doesn't look to have any damage on the car, and he said he doesn't feel as though it's handling any different. Remember, this is a first-year crew chief with this team as well. So not only is Vickers filling in, but Mike Bugaravich is the crew chief for the first time. This is his first race, but he said from the first time Vickers got in the car on Friday, it's like he hadn't missed a beat. There was no rust, despite the fact he'd been out of the car almost 11 months.
Yeah, but Vince, he hadn't been in a storm like this. He'd been out there by himself. Feels pretty good right now, boys, but I don't know about in the race.
Something that's kind of standing out to me, because one of the drivers I thought was really going to be aggressive in this race to get to the front was Denny Hamlin. He's actually maybe playing a strategy role here, thinking, wow, this is getting a little too crazy. We knew there were a lot of crashes in this race last year. Wouldn't be surprised if he's back there saying, hey, I'm going to play it cool here for a little while.
Well, he's tail end Charlie right now back there with Ricky Stenhouse. Matt?
And Mike, knowing the strategy as far as the race and the format, and seeing through the windshield the 3 and 4 and 5 wide ahead right now, he's just riding in the back, playing it safe.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, you're going to have a caution here at 25 laps, and then you can regroup.
10 laps complete this time by, in the Sprint Unlimited, Brad Keselowski in front of the 2 Ganassi cars.
Sprint Unlimited is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places.
"12 laps. Jamie McMurray is the new leader because
trouble. Turn 2.
Car spinning at turn number 2.
Caution is out.
And look at the water. Look at the water coming out of the 2 cars. He went by our camera there. We just saw is that 17 is Stenhouse. Looked like he lost it in turn 2.
That's got to be a tire issue.
Look at all that water, Jeff.
Well, the consequence of being the leader is that you clean the racetrack for everybody. And Brad picked up, we're looking at Ricky Stenhouse recovering after that spin. Brad picked up a piece of plastic, maybe a sandwich bag or something, right over the radiator inlet. His car overheated. You see, whatever it is still there. Okay. And the car badly overheated. He had to give up the lead, try to get behind someone to get that piece of plastic off, but it has not happened.
And he's losing a lot of water.
They're going to probably have to put.
He needed this break. He needed the caution to get onto pit road and try to get some more water in it, get that debris off, and he still is losing water.
Now, apparently, you see the damage on the right side of Denny Hamlin's car. He and Ricky Stenhouse must have gotten together as they were riding way at the back, to stay way behind the pack to stay out of trouble.
Stay out of trouble and get in trouble.
I can't wait to see the replay on this because I just can't imagine how this could have even happened with those two cars all the way back there. I gotta believe that somebody cut a tire or something happened there.
Remember one year here in the 500, I think it was Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte were teammates. One was up at the front, one was at the back, and when the big one happened, they ended up one on top of the other.
Yeah, Tony ended up on top of Bobby.
Look way on the right side of your screen.
Oh yeah, he just goes around.
Yeah, Stenhouse had to have had some kind of problem. I can't imagine that car could be that loose by himself there, and he just lost it. And unfortunately, Hamlin, that strategy that he was playing did not play out for them.
Yeah, the left front corner of Stenhouse's car is what got into the right side of Hamlin's as Stenhouse was spinning and coming down the racetrack.
Now, I will say this, that damage to the 11 car is it's going to be really, not really going to affect their race at all. They'll still. We've seen far worse damage than this, and cars come right up through there.
Well, caving that side in is not all that bad.
Well, if we're on a downforce track, but here at Daytona, I don't think they would prefer that, but certainly it's not going to eliminate them from being able to win this race.
I think that's not a bad thing.
First caution of the night. Hamlin and Stenhouse exit the pits, and here comes about half the field to pit road. 14 laps complete in the Sprint Unlimited, and Brad Keselowski will get his grill cleaned on this stop.
Sprint Unlimited is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
Under green, Brad Keselowski having issues with a plastic bag. Now, the size of the cooling opening is mandated by NASCAR, and it's pretty well filled by that piece of plastic.
Yeah,
the upper grill
right
is
in
not
there.
a place where air gets into these engines to cool them.
Yeah.
And there is the result. Even after he surrendered the lead, he could not shake that piece of plastic, and he's since come to pit road now, Matt, twice.
Brad Keselowski told Paul Wolfe he was trying to dodge the debris. Joey Meyer, the spotter, told him it's wedged in there, and they simply had to come. Now, 2 stops for Keselowski. The first stop was to add water. Car Chief Jerry Kelly peeled all that debris that was wedged into that grill. Then they came back again, put tires on. And it's also a similar situation for his teammate Joey Logano. His water temperature was up over 275, and he was asking his crew chief, Todd Gordon, what do I do? And then the caution came out.
Well, I think, Matt, we know why. They've got those 2 cars taped up right. I mean, max tape, I'd say. They don't left themselves much room for error.
They're just like the drivers, you know, on the racetrack being aggressive, so are those crew chiefs as they set up these race cars.
There's speed in that tape, buddy.
There is the tire that let go on the 17. Vince?
Yeah, they cut that right rear tire, and unfortunately, as it came apart, did some pretty significant damage to the right rear of that 17 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So just spoke with the team. They said they definitely expect it to affect the handling of this car here on this super speedway. So bad news for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right out of the gate.
You just think about Joey Logano last year at Homestead when he blew a tire and it tore his car all to pieces.
That's right.
Well, I know Ricky Stenhouse Jr. likes to run his car loose, but I knew he couldn't be running it that loose. Unfortunate incident.
What a beautiful night in Daytona Beach. Our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, official tire of NASCAR. Well, this race has gone topsy-turvy. Jamie McMurray started 24th. He's the leader. Joey Logano started 25th. He's in the top 5. The Ganassi teammates, McMurray and Larson, will restart this race on the front row. Lights are out on the Camry safety car. We're ready to go back to green. It'll be 17 laps complete and 8 to go to the mandated caution at lap 25.
I think that little 13 car is pretty impressive too. Casey Mears sitting up here running at 4th place. He's had some good runs here at Daytona the last year or so.
The interesting thing on some of the cars that came down pit road, I think they might be playing a strategy where they got 4 tires and full of fuel right there, and then what they'll be able to do is come in and maybe just do a gas and go or 2 tires on that 25 lap caution flag.
Quick stop.
All 25 cars still in the field as the green flag waves to begin the 18th lap.
Great start by Jamie McMurray. He's got Jimmy Johnson right on his bumper, give him a nice little shove or bubble of air to push him out there and get the lead. And now he's going to have control, and now he's going to be working the inside lane and the outside lane to maintain that lead.
And see, in a race like, well, in any race really, but you don't really have teammates. I mean, Kyle Larson's his teammate on the outside right there, running beside Jimmy Johnson. He could pull over and help him if he wanted to, or if he thought he could get away with it. But he's worried about himself. He's not worried about Kyle Larson right now.
Right now he is, because here he comes.
Got a little run on him right there. It's going to go right by.
Now, Larson to the lead.
Now, definitely, I want to point out something. So that all came from the energy being built up behind the cars behind Kyle Larson. So one car packs up air behind Carl Edwards. He packs up air on the 13 to Casey Mears, and he gets that energy pushed onto the 42, and boom, he's shot out of a cannon and goes and takes the lead.
I like that inside line with Jimmy Johnson pushing Jamie McMurray right now. That seems to be going somewhere, but now we see McMurray a lot like Keselowski was in the opening laps, sitting out there in front of the pack with them 2 by 2 behind him. Hard to get up there and challenge him.
Well, that's the thing. Larson, he got up there beside him. He just couldn't quite clear him, and then it actually pulled him back to that second position.
Larson got a shot from a 13, and that's what shot him by up to the 1 car McMurray, but couldn't make the pass.
Kyle Larson falls to 3rd. First car on the outside, and here coming up the middle, Carl Edwards comes down in that orange car. Brian Vickers in the 14.
Boy, I tell
3
you,
abreast.
those things are dancing all over the place so as they come through this tri-oval. That 2 car, I noticed on that when we're watching the nose of it, the nose is hitting the ground. Thing is really, really low in the front.
Yeah, it's hard to say where that's coming from. Sometimes I've seen some cars run some type of a metal puck or something up in the front splitter. It just keeps the splitter all the way down on the ground, but it also gives it a gap. That seems to be a little extreme to me.
That baby's a little bit too low.
2 cars in the top 10 stopped at lap 14. Matt Kenseth and now Brad Keselowski.
A lot of times you don't want to be in the middle lane, but that's the lane that moves.
As
we see a piece of debris go shooting by. When it's windy like this, it's amazing how that debris gets picked up, probably from the grandstands, thrown over the fence, and gets on the racetrack. And we're seeing a lot of it.
I mean, debris everywhere.
Paul Menard got a little bit of the concrete on the outside that time by. Boy, Keselowski's got a big run there, and
something happened.
Kenseth alone.
I think something must have happened there to cause that line to move like that. It looked like the 13 might have had a problem.
Yeah, Mears somehow lost some momentum and looked like he was going backwards, but they were just all coming forward and keeping their momentum.
And here comes Kenseth in the 20 back against Harvick and Kyle Busch.
I like the way Matt Kenseth races. He's a smart racer, and he really, you never know how good he is till it comes money time. And then all of a sudden there he is. Remember, he won this race last year, and He's a pretty good racer.
Reminds me a lot of David Pearson.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, this is such a combination of those smart drivers that are thinking about the next move and playing chess, and then there are those drivers that are just super aggressive, just getting the momentum, taking advantage of it, bump drafting, doing everything they can to get to the front.
Dale Earnhardt was one of the best I ever saw. He didn't hold back anything. He was aggressive all the time. That's why he won so many of these things.
Jamie?
And I talked to Matt Kenseth's crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, a little bit ago, and he told me they really didn't have a plan for this race. He said Matt is perfect. He knows exactly where he needs to be at the right time, and that's the end of the race. He's very calm, cool, and collected. Now remember, he did come in and pit, but he took fuel only.
Hey, I got to tell you this about Earnhardt real quick. Larry said that he'd get on Earnhardt and said, don't you think we ought to...
what's around?
Oh, my God.
Hard in the wall.
Oh, that was a hard lick.
And that is Brian Vickers.
Another right rear tire went down to me.
My gosh, that was a hard lick.
You know, we saw that car really dancing around. You made a comment about it, DW. And the next thing you know, he went to go into turn 1, and the car just turned around on him.
Oh, my gosh.
Clint Boyer also involved. Looks like damage to Kevin Harvick as well.
Yeah.
Really interesting to know what's going on with these right rear tires. Are they rubbing? Are they puncturing from debris?
Greg Biffle.
There's a lot of cars got damaged in this little. I don't understand this. Last year was a crash fest, and here we are starting off tonight same way.
Now Brian Vickers has come to a stop, and the signal to NASCAR officials that he is okay is that he has lowered his window net. He has done so.
Look at that. That's Dale Jr.'s car. The whole side torn out of it.
Yeah, unlike the 11 car, that is definitely going to hinder your performance.
Yes, you got to have some sort of
right up ahead, right in the middle.
Bam! Wow. Gosh, that was hard hit.
He almost missed it.
Hold your line.
Pretty tough when somebody cuts a tire right in the middle of the field like that going into turn 1.
And remember, we've got a tailwind tonight, and the cars are probably running 200+ miles an hour as they go off into turn 1. Watch this thing.
You can see just a little bit of smoke come off this 14 car just as he starts to get into turn 1. You can start to see the sidewall of the tire hanging out.
There she goes.
There's just nothing you can do in that situation.
Goodness.
Oh, Clint Boyer just caught him. Let's ride with Kurt Busch in the 41 through this.
Smoke in there in front of you there. Keep coming. There you go.
Kurt did an awesome job recognizing that something was wrong and going on. Maybe he could see that smoke, and you could see he started lifting much earlier than cars around him, trying to anticipate it and get out of the way. And I think he did a great job, for the most part, missing it. I think might be a little bit of damage on the right side.
All those blue blocks you saw, that's safety foam between the outer door skin and the roll cage. 6 cars involved.
Sprint Unlimited is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Busch Beer. Busch is back. Here's to earning it. And by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
Is that the caution?
Brian Vickers' car is on the hook. Kevin Harvick's is in the garage. Pit road is open. Dale Earnhardt Jr. under repair. Vince?
Jamie McMurray is coming to the pits. He's going to get right side tires. Pitting from the lead is McMurray. Also the 48 of Jimmy Johnson coming as well. Johnson said it's a little bit free, but not bad. Jamie?
Carl Edwards started 19th, worked his way up to third. Car is neutral. He said, don't slide him. He filled it up, Matt.
Fuel only for Brad Keselowski in the 2. Reminded him, do not slide the tires because they didn't want to change.
Kyle Busch getting service. And there is Clint Bowyer's car. He was coming down on the apron and almost got past, and just at the last instant got slid into by Brian Vickers' car.
Yeah, very similar to what we saw with Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch got minimal damage to the right rear, but he got a lot more drastic damage there on his right side.
So we're 25 laps complete, and we're going to this will be the NASCAR caution at 25 laps. Look at the white car straight ahead of Kevin Harvick, and you'll see what happens.
Sprint Unlimited is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history. Under caution, live back here in Daytona, and time to check out today's lead changes brought to you by Sprint. Jamie McMurray has led the most laps at 14. Remember, he started 24th in this 25-car Sprint Unlimited field. And just like these NASCAR Sprint Cup cars, the Sprint LTE Plus network is fast. It delivers fast download speeds, and for a limited time, switch to Sprint and save 50% on most other carrier rate plans. Sprint, better for less. With Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers enjoying the Sprint Unlimited. Already a lot of action, and Denny Hamlin has moved out in front.
It's like he who is last will be first. We saw Jamie McMurray travel to the front from the back. Now Hamlin riding around in the back, got in an accident, had some great pit strategy, pitted on lap 22 prior to this caution, and now the FedEx Toyota's out in front. That's amazing.
And Eric Almirola, the fastest lap time, but he's not the leader, and why is that?
Well, you need that air. You need that big push to catch other cars, and that's exactly what Almirola took advantage of. If you're leading in the front, you're doing a lot of blocking, Chris.
Still waiting on a health check with Brian Vickers in the 14. What about Kevin Harvick? Vince Welch is standing by.
Well, I certainly didn't want to be standing here in the pits tonight at this stage in the race, but what did you see in that incident?
I just saw the 14 had a flat tire for a long ways down the straightaway, and then he just spun out and hit him. So just hate it for everybody on our Busch, Jimmy John's, Chevrolet for all the work that they put in. I guess if you're going to wreck, I guess tonight's the night to wreck.
How crazy was it out there?
It really wasn't that bad. I think everybody was doing a really good job of, racing hard. It was dicey, obviously, but, that's just one of those instances where, the guy's right rear tire was flat and he just spun out. So it's just wrong place at the wrong time.
Mike?
Ow, that hurts just looking at it. Brian Vickers' car is in the garage along with Kevin Harvick, and Clint Boyer's car is being towed there now. Those three are out of the race. There are the 7 drivers that received some damage in this lap 23 crash. Well, Larry, what does this change, and what do we look forward to?
Well, the most interesting strategy is with Jimmy Johnson in his 48 car and Chad Knaus. On lap 12, they stayed out. Watch this stop right here, lap 25. Now, you're going to see him slide the right front right there as he comes in, but they're not going to change tires. They're going to make adjustment. They're going to jack the left side of the car up. That way, they're trying to pack as much fuel in that car as they can, because when they pitted, 50 to go just outside that fuel window, but they have not changed tires yet on that 48 car.
Interesting. Now, a number of drivers, looks like 8 of them, have just come in to top off for fuel, as Brad Keselowski did a lap ago. Repairs continue on A.J. Allmendinger's car and Greg Biffle's, Kurt Busch's. All right, we listened in on Kyle Busch and his team.
What position do we look like here, Tony, and how many are running in one piece?
P12, it appears, and like 17 in one piece. A couple of guys, some wounded out there, be floating around.
That's Kyle Spotter, Tony Hirschman.
Yeah. To me, the most interesting pit strategy was the 11 car. The 11 car played that strategy of coming in before NASCAR decided to close down the pits before that caution. Then they came in, got 4 tires under green, and are the leader of this race right now.
I think the other lucky guy is Keselowski. I mean, here he was running around here, looked like Stanley Steamer, and he's going to restart here in 2nd place.
Yeah, and I think did he come in and take tires?
We'll
he was
check.
in the pits enough.
Let's have a look at tonight's Ford Performance Track Facts. The Daytona Rising project is complete for the 2016 season. The last driver who won the Unlimited and went on to win the Daytona 500 in the same season was Dale Jarrett in a Ford back in 2000, 16 years ago. We're looking for green this time by Larry McReynolds, the fuel window, 42 to 46 laps. Can anybody make it from here?
Yeah, I feel good about those 10 drivers that topped off, because that was at lap 28, 47 to go, and we're just back racing at 46 to go.
They can make it.
So the 2-car strategy, he actually came down pit road, but because he had come in earlier, he had a little bit more fuel in his car, so he was on pit road just a shorter amount of time than, say, the 48 car with the way that they took fuel.
Yeah,
his problems worked out good for him.
It was a very brief stop, 3 seconds for Brad Keselowski to top it off, and that's what put him out here in 2nd place with Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, Jamie McMurray, your top 5.
Now the tire here for Daytona, it's a pretty hard tire. It really doesn't wear out. This track is not as abrasive as it used to be before they repaved this track several years ago. And so we haven't seen a lot of tire wear. But I'll tell you, at the end of this race, as aggressive as the drivers get and as wild and crazy and the bumper cars at 200 miles per hour that this becomes, you really want some fresh rubber to be able to handle all the action that's going to be going on out there. So they might be able to handle it right now. I think they're going to want rubber, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how these strategies play out.
Yeah, these tires I think have been run here the last couple of years, and you're right, Jeff. You want that maneuverability with those better tires on there.
Denny Hamlin out front, 3 drivers in the garage. Let's check with Jamie.
Well, good news for Brian Vickers. He has been checked and released, and you actually smiled there, but that was a big hit, Brian. What happened?
Yeah, it was. It's unfortunate. I think we just cut a right rear tire. I don't know how we cut it yet. You know, the 2 and I were kind of getting together a little bit down the straightaway, but we had a little contact with the 18 early on, and maybe it got into the tire. I'm not sure, but I felt it going down the straightaway, and at that point I started to roll out. But you're going 200 miles an hour. There's nothing you can do. It's unfortunate because I tell you, everyone at Stewart-Haas Racing has just put so much into this effort, and you know, it's such an honor to be in this car. I hate that I'm in this car because it means Tony Stewart, you know, a dear friend and someone I have so much respect for, sitting at home. But it was an honor to fill the seat, and the big focus is going to be the Daytona 500. We're going to go get them, and you know, it sucks. I was really looking forward to putting this Mobil 1 Chevy in victory lane. We had such a good car, and we were really making a charge to the front, but it's part of it.
Thanks, Brian.
Brian Vickers sidelined last year with blood clot issues. Now
see a lot of sparks out of that one car, Mike, and he made an abrupt move right here through the trioval when the 20 car got underneath of him. Jamie McMurray in the 1. Those sparks are flying out of there. I don't think he's got a problem, but boy, he sure fell back in a hurry.
Yeah, just as we talk about Matt Kenseth, calm, cool, and collected, he makes this wild move to the outside of the 1 car and shoots right on by.
Well, Kenseth was trying to get up with his Joe Gibbs Toyota teammate Carl Edwards, but he's fallen 1 car short. There's a car in between them.
When these cars are in the corner, Mike, that rear bumper almost touches the ground. I mean, it's not far off the track. When it goes down the straightaway, the car raises up in the back. The car gets light in the back. That's why you have to be careful bumping somebody going down the straightaway, because you can turn them around real easy.
There's no holding back right now. These guys are really making some evasive moves, you know, trying to find that lane to get that momentum, that push they need, just like Brad Keselowski just did to get around Denny Hamlin.
He got a big side draft off Hamlin, went to the front. Jimmy Johnson had a look down low,
but he's not
Hamlin
clear
back
him.
to the lead.
No, but that 2 car is right back like he was when he started this race. Brad's really fast. Got a fast car up on the outside. And those Penske cars, man, on stricter plate races have been pretty good last couple of years. Here comes his teammate Logano back there in the 3rd, right behind Carl. Carl dives down on the inside to try to help his teammate. Can Logano in the 22 yellow car up there get up there and help his teammate?
That's when it pays to have a loyal teammate.
Look at Hamlin. He just peeled off and left Carl Edwards.
Yeah, basically when Carl left the 2 car, it just really stalled out that lane, and then he went down and he gave the 11 car a nice big push and just shoved him way out there.
Remember practice, Mike, how that 11 car, I mean, he was slicing and dicing, passing cars on the inside, outside,
but look at
right
this.
to the front.
It's not over because the 22 of Joey Logano got behind his teammate, gave him a big shove, and now he gets to the outside of the 11. We got teammates versus teammates right here.
Keselowski led the first 12 laps, had to pull aside.
Whoa now.
Now this is a move I've seen Jamie McMurray make many times. If he can get an inch to the outside of you on that back straightaway, he will take it in a second. He's made it work many, many times. It's a risky move, but I've seen it pay off for him, and he's not afraid to take it.
That's the number 1, McMurray.
It almost bankrupted him that time.
I don't think that'll be the last time you see him make that move.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I mean, we got a ways to go yet, and it's getting pretty dicey.
Logano with a big run in the 22, right up to the bumper of Keselowski, and now pushes him ahead. 2 Fords on the outside, Toyotas on the inside of the front 2 rows.
That's a lot of 3 wide there, guys.
And look at those cars, how they just move all over the place. I mean, you think the driver's holding the wheel steady as he can, and that car buffets off the one beside of it, moves it around. That's what makes these things so hard to drive down the straightaway.
You see that damage on the right side of the 11 car. Not holding him back. He's got plenty of speed.
And plenty of company coming.
I think that just narrowed that 11 car up a little bit, Jeff.
You like that, don't you, DJ?
I like that. Make her a little narrow, go faster.
You gotta figure out how to plan that out for the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
A lot of side drafting going on. Guys trying to get down to the quarter panel with their left front tire if they're on the outside of them. Get to the right rear quarter panel, and it just stalls them out just a little bit, and then they get some momentum. Here's the 2 car with more debris on the front.
Oh, my goodness.
That is amazing.
Halfway.
That is amazing.
Yeah, this is going to be the same scenario. This one doesn't look like it's wedged on there quite as bad as it was before, but I think you're going to see the same scenario. He's going to have to get behind somebody and clear that off.
Well, hopefully, and maybe they took a little tape off of that thing when it got hot before. That opens that grill opening up a little wider. We'll see what happens here, but that's right over the opening in the grill for the air to go in. You try to tape, Mike, you try to tape the left side of the grill.
A little help with the one. He will suck the one up from behind and drug back. Third row back.
You tape that left side of the grill as much as that's where you put the tape. That plants that left front. And so you leave the right side of the grill open, and when that happens, then you get this piece of paper on there, you're going to overheat.
37 laps complete, working lap 38, and Brad Keselowski back in front of the Sprint Unlimited. "34 laps to go to the first checkered flag of the NASCAR season. In tonight's Sprint Unlimited, Brad Keselowski has led twice as many laps tonight as in all 3 of his prior Sprint Unlimited appearances combined. Now, that piece of plastic on the front of the nose, is that going to cause the car to overheat? We listened in.
Got a vacuum on the nose up here. Check your temp.
Yeah, the 215, but not bad.
10-4.
Yeah, remember, guys, the grill opening is just above the word fusion, and we've got our little eagle eye system up here, and we did see where they pulled tape off the right side when they were on pit road.
Yeah.
Certainly a good thing they did.
Yeah, I think that's why he's getting away with what he's getting away with now.
And Paul Wolf told Brad Keselowski, we cannot wait as long as last time. If it starts to push any water out, we've got to get that bag off the nose. Now, Jerry Kelly, the car chief, told me he did pull tape, like Larry Mack mentioned, to give them a little bit more of a buffer zone in case more debris hit the grill.
I got to tell you guys, when I'm watching this, I sure am glad we took that break because I need to take a breath, and I'm really excited that I'm up here. Right now.
Around goes Johnson.
Guys. Oh, you're going to tear it all. It just rips.
Yeah, he hit the
Rips
front
it all
splitter,
apart.
ripped the front end right off that car.
Caution
he's
waves.
Be done.
The nose of that 48 is all torn up.
Wrecked.
You're a hell of a driver, Jimmy. Good job. You did great.
Earl Barbin, the spotter.
Get to the garage.
And Chad Knaus, crew chief.
I like the way Chad operates. Take it to the garage.
That is the last 4 times Jimmy Johnson's been on the Sprint Unlimited. He's going to finish it up in the garage.
You did good. Thank you. We learned a little bit tonight. That's cool. Thanks, everybody. Good dress rehearsal right there.
Let's have a look here. Look at this group right here, 3 wide.
Got Jamie McMurray on the outside. I think that's Casey
Mears up on the outside there.
And you can see they just still are on his quarter. And it pushed Jimmy up into the 13 just a little bit.
Oh,
and looked like maybe him and the 13 got together. Then him and Menard got together.
Menard may have given Jimmy a little shot and pushed him up into the 13.
And that area where Johnson went off is the bus stop chicane for the sports car races here. And it's a grass to asphalt to grass transition. You end up being a farm tractor going through there.
It's just a really awkward position to be in.
Real tight. Oh, boy, Kyle Larson did a nice job there.
Wow. Let's ride along with Jimmy Johnson.
In and out. In and out.
Watch his hands.
In and out.
I think he was just in an awkward position.
Yeah, it was like the air from the car on the inside was pushing him wide. Then the car on the outside, when the car gets the right rear quarter panel, it can push the back of the car out and almost turn you into the car in front of you.
Yep, I think that's what happened.
Brad Keselowski stays out. The paper is still off of his grill. Let's go to pit road.
Jamie McMurray is in. He took right side tires on the first stop. He's led 14 laps tonight. It's right sides again, Matt.
And the 22 Logano is in. You can see they're making a chassis adjustment. Significant change. Logano worked better on the high side. The car it was just too tight on the bottom.
Most of the field coming to pit road. And the decision to come to pit road by Joey Logano was a late one. Jimmy Johnson okay. After this one, there's Logano with that late break into the pit lane. We're under caution in Daytona. Here are the leaders as we get set to go back to green. Jimmy Johnson has gone to the garage, joining Clint Boyer, Brian Vickers, and Kevin Harvick. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the free pass car on this caution. He gets back 1 of the 6 laps that he lost repairing crash damage. Keselowski and Hamlin up front.
He got a big old hole in the side of his car.
Matt Kenseth with Casey Kane, row 2. Kyle Larson, Danica Patrick up there. Martin Truex, Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, Paul Menard, the top 10 as we go back to green.
So far, we're seeing a lot of clean restarts.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if we get some late in the race, if we see any jockeying for position on those restarts.
I think that NASCAR's made a believer out of these guys. You know, what they did last year, Black Flag and Keselowski, I think one race there in New Hampshire, wherever it was, I think they really got these guys' attention, and they're playing by the rules.
Yeah, I think you're right.
A little more orderly on this restart. And just as I say that,
just give him time, Mike.
I tell you, the guy that keeps creeping into the picture, though, is that guy running behind Keselowski right now in that yellow car, Matt Kenseth.
I'd also keep an eye on Kurt Busch. Just made a move there, the outside, I think, of Danica, falling in behind Casey Kane. We haven't talked a lot about Casey Kane. He's quietly been up there in the top 5. I think he's, what, 6th right now.
And here comes McMurray, busting right back up into the fray in the number 1. Let's go downstairs and Vince.
Former Unlimited winner Jimmy Johnson not to be tonight. What happened?
I was there inside this, or in the middle of the 2, and the door started to shut. I did a decent job of backing out of there and not causing a big one as the door shut on me. But I got hit from behind, and it sent me out of the pack, spinning down through the grass, ripped the nose off the car. So an unfortunate end to the Unlimited. Very fast, slow Chevrolet. Very proud of my team. Got some reps tonight, which is really good, and looking forward to the 500. Just want to say hello to Shanny back at home, girls, and look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thanks, Jimmy. Mike.
Thanks, Vince. Keselowski and Kenseth. The white and yellow cars, 2nd and 3rd, the 2 and the 20, as they chase Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, that 2 car is still really bad fast.
And these guys are not content to just ride in line. They want to make passes. They want to make some action happen.
Let's go to the leaders pit and Matt.
Mike, 6 key personnel changes on the 11 car for 2016, including new crew chief, rookie Mike Wheeler. Now, during conversation of the caution, Wheeler said, "We are 3 to 4 laps short on fuel." Hamlin responded, "I want to gamble if you want to," so they decided to stay out.
Wow.
Jamie.
And his teammate Matt Kenseth running 3rd right now on the outside, one of the cars that stayed out. I asked his crew chief, and he said, "The car is good. We're good on fuel. We need about 1 more lap of caution, and we will definitely be good on fuel, so why risk it? We'll stay 3rd.
Boy, you just can't, Jeff, I know as watching from up here, I know in the car, you can just feel the intensity. You just feel it ramping up. The next few laps just keeps ramping up a little bit more.
Yeah, there's just more and more bumpers getting closer and closer to one another. Cars weaving in and out of this snake as we see them come down the back straightaway. The cars are just going back and forth. You can tell they're not real stable, and usually when you start to see that late in a race, that means that everybody's getting a little more aggressive, a little more anxious. I got to go back to the 11 car, though. I mean, 3 or 4 laps short at Martinsville is one thing, but at Daytona, I mean, that seems to me to be a little bit too risky. But they're hoping for a lot of caution.
I think they figured there might be another caution, and I think they might be right.
There is when they pitted, Larry. You know, that fuel window, it's open, but.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin and Mike Wheeler, they're trying to run 53 laps. Since they pitted, we've had about 8 to 9 caution laps. A good rule of thumb, 2 to 1 caution to green. So if you take 4 off that 53, they're still trying to go 49 laps. It's going to be a stretch, but you know what? I'm with them. It's a sprint unlimited. Let's gamble.
I'm the same way, Larry. Why do you want to do what everybody else does? Do something different.
Now, Jeff, Denny Hamlin giving up the lead to Brad Keselowski. Will that save him any fuel?
No,
I don't think so. Not tonight.
Unless you're at the back of the pack and you're able to run half throttle, quarter throttle to just stay on the draft, you're not really saving fuel when you're in the position they're at right now. Now, I don't think he gave up that spot. I think Keselowski went up there and took that spot.
Drove right by him. I think that's what I saw.
But here comes Hamlin to take it right back. He's not saving fuel.
Nope. For the lead, Denny Hamlin back out front.
Clear. You're clear.
If I'm going to run out, I want to run out leading anyway.
What I love about this, we've seen in the past where being the leader is a great place to be, and a place that is fairly safe where cars are having a hard time getting by you. We're seeing a lot of passes for the lead. That's exciting.
It is. There's some more of that trash around the track that we've been seeing. Boy, we've seen a lot tonight, but it's been pretty windy all night too, blowing stuff around.
I'm really surprised more cars have not had issues with getting debris on the hood or on the nose.
It seems to be that the two-car picks it all up before anybody else can.
He's like a monster. He sucks up the cars, eats them up, and the trash.
9 lead changes so far. 21
this is that
to go.
Snake I was talking about. When you see those cars, all you can see is their roofs, and they start moving back and forth. When they start moving quick like that, it's because they're getting right up to the bumper of the car in front of them, and somebody's right on the bumper behind them, and they're almost not fully in control of the car at that point.
That's called disturbance or turbulence, whichever one you like. There's that big old bag. I think that's the same one. I think it's been here all night, waiting on the 2-car to come back. I'm coming after you, Brad Keselowski.
20 laps to go next time by. Denny Hamlin's Toyota leaves the 4 to Brad Keselowski.
You're watching the Sprint Unlimited, only on Fox.
Sprint Unlimited is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
We're under caution at lap 57. Casey Kane having a great run in the number 5. Let's have a look at what happens because he had a little help.
Yeah, we're going to see Casey Kane here leading the 1 car of Jamie McMurray. As they come down the back straightaway, Jamie just starts bump drafting the 5 car, and it starts getting the 5 loose and getting side to side, and eventually it just turns them right into the outside into A.J. Allmendinger, unfortunately. You know, I talked about this earlier. It's just really difficult to bump draft these days with the way the bumpers are shaped, and that's the risk that you're going to take, even though you're trying to get that car ahead.
Well, when we look at the cars in the corner, think about how close the bumper is in the corner. When it gets on the straightaway, look how high it is. The car gets light back there.
And here's what Jamie McMurray had to say.
100% my fault. I just was trying to give him the best push I could. Sort of stuck down there on the bottom.
Yeah, so it's good intentions. You know, Jamie, he saw an opportunity. He had a good run. He's trying to get up there, get squared up on him, and give him that shove to get him by those cars. Unfortunately, you know, it started turning the 5 car back and forth, and at that point, he was just driving the 5 car, and eventually got him so loose he lost control.
Pretty good amount of damage on Kane's car and also that of A.J. Allmendinger, the 47.
Back live in Daytona. Time to check out the lead changes brought to you by Sprint and Kurt Busch, the big mover. Plus 16 with Hamlin leading Keselowski and Kenseth. Just like these NASCAR Sprint Cup cars, the Sprint LTE Plus network is fast, delivering fast download speeds for a limited time. Switch to Sprint and save 50% on most other carrier rate plans. Sprint, better for less. With Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers recapping the Sprint Unlimited tonight. Back on the track for the first time of the 2016 season. 25 drivers setting out, hitting 200-mile-per-hour speeds. Brad Keselowski in the 2 car in the front row, leading the first 10 laps, but overheating with something on the hood. And then Stenhouse and Hamlin get into it.
Stenhouse loses his tire, runs into Hamlin. That's in the back of the field. Hamlin now finds himself at the front of the field.
After restarting that second segment and moving out in front, and Brian Vickers in the 14 for the injured Tony Stewart, a cut tire. He's okay, but Harvick involved, Earnhardt Jr., Boyer, and Greg Biffle all caught up in this mishap. And then lap 44, Jimmy Johnson, 5th time here in the Unlimited that he does not finish. He was running 10th at the time. And with Chase Elliott, who's in the 24 car for Jeff Gordon, watching all of this, a rough night for the Hendrick Motorsports car.
You can see here Jamie McMurray takes full responsibility for this. He gets a hold to the back of Casey Kane, never let him go. Casey winds up into the side of A.J. Allmendinger. They crash going into 3.
And Joey Logano said strategy for this race written in pencil.
And I love this guy. He's gone to the back. What have we seen all night long? Guys from the back to the front. Logano pitted late, went to the back, got fresh tires. Look for Logano to charge hard late.
And now to the front of the leader and Matt Yoakum.
Chris, remember we documented earlier Denny Hamlin and Mike Wheeler gambling on fuel. They were short. Wheeler told him moments ago, max save. Try to save as much as you can. Jeff Gordon, what would you do in that situation? What steps to try to save fuel?
Yeah, so max save means when the caution comes out, you immediately turn the engine off and push the clutch in, coast as far as you possibly can. And then you try to gap yourself to the pace car. When you get close to the pace car, then you fire that engine back up, roll forward, and just keep shutting it on and off, the best way to save fuel.
Yeah, if the engine isn't running, it's not burning any fuel.
That's right.
And you'll be amazed at how much fuel you can save. When that caution comes out and you shut the engine off, you can roll probably from turn 1 almost to turn 3 to be able to save a huge amount of fuel. When you do it under caution, what that's saving you under green is massive.
The attrition rate, not as high as last year, but still a lot of wrecked race cars still running and in the garage.
I know where he's going.
We got 15 laps to go, brother. we ain't done with that
make
part
that
of
point
the race.
now. As we sit on the 5th floor of the tower here, Larry Mack, one booth to our right at the start-finish line.
There he is, waving over there.
Getting ready to turn them loose one more time. 15 laps to go.
Yeah, this is going to get, it's been fun and games, and now it's going to get serious. They're going to put their game face on.
There's the area where Jimmy Johnson went off. You see all that grass from our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything they learned making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours from Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Here's some Kurt Busch team audio.
We're going to school him here shortly, right? 10-4. Give him all he's got. That's never a question.
He will restart 5th.
And Denny Hamlin still hasn't come in since early in this race.
But he's got to be feeling better and better and better about his fuel mileage. The only thing I worry about that 11 car, what if he runs out of fuel in front of the pack?
Yeah, guys, I think he can do it because we've run 14 caution laps. That's like adding 7 laps. You know what? I think he's good to go now.
I do too, Larry. I think that was a great gamble. They knew there were going to be a couple more cautions, and they played right into their hand.
And he's getting a great push from his teammate Matt Kenseth here on this restart.
Back into turn 1 under the green flag. Teammates in the 11 and 20. Hamlin and Kenseth. That's Keselowski in the 2 up on the outside in a Ford ahead of Kyle Larson's Chevy.
Boy, look at that. Then he gets way out there, but that's usually not a good idea.
Oh, Kurt Busch went for it, had the momentum, went to go inside of Matt Kenseth, and nobody went with him.
My gosh, those guys are really, really cutting each other off. They go down the back there, the 11 of Hamlin and the 2 of Keselowski. They were playing games.
Now
serious.
The organized line's on the inside behind Hamlin here. As soon as I say that, Larson goes up the outside to help Keselowski out.
Right now, you're just trying to figure out who do you want to help? Who can I help that will help me? Help me help you is kind of what's going on right now.
When you say help, use that term loosely because you might be helping somebody, but I promise you it's only to benefit yourself.
Oh, yeah, help me help you. If I can help you and it'll help me, I'll do it. I don't care what kind of car you drive or what team you're on. You don't have any teammates right now.
Not the way Jamie Mack was trying to help Casey Kane.
Exactly. I mean, he was trying to push him ahead, but it was definitely to try to also get himself in a position to move ahead of that same car.
With that 11, I tell you, the way that thing can just seem to gap himself when he wants to, and we saw that in practice yesterday. Wow, he's going to be hard to beat.
Well, he'll be really hard to beat if these guys don't get a little bit more organized behind. Here comes the 2 of the big run. He's definitely going to get to the outside of the 11.
Think about this, Jeff. He's lighter than everybody else, because he doesn't have as much fuel as everybody else.
Well, some on this type of a racetrack, some could use that in different ways because, or think about it in different ways. Sometimes more fuel puts the back of that car down and gets it lower to the track, gets that spoiler a little bit lower.
And sitting in 3rd is that 19 of Carl Edwards, now 4th, Jamie.
And what a night he's had, from the back to the front to the back, and he had to pit again after the first round of pit stops. They had a right front lug loose, so he came into 4 tires, and now he's up front battling for the lead.
We just saw right there the 42 had a big run getting to the 2 car. He decided not to pass him, so he just wanted to stay in behind him. The 13 had a whole different agenda, and he carried all that momentum right to the outside of the 42 car.
Well, I tell you, things are shaping up for the Joe Gibbs team right now. You got 1st and 2nd, and Matt Kenseth running back there behind Joey Logano in the 22. You know, those guys get together now. That's 3 cars that are really fast.
Joe Gibbs Racing has won this race 3 of the last 4 years.
Looking pretty good right now, I can tell you that.
Coming up to 10 to go. When you get 10 to go, things start heating up.
Yeah. 10 to go and no friends to go.
Here they come to 10 to go. We'll be right back for the finish of the Sprint Unlimited. Welcome back to Daytona, where the caution is out with 10 laps to go. Casey Kane was trailing the pack when something went up in smoke in turn number 2. Concern about debris, fluid on the racetrack prompted the caution flag.
I think that's a good move, Mike, because I watched that car and it really had a lot of oil and smoke coming out from underneath. And I had said in the break, I said I would want to be the first one to run through there. So I think that was a good move. You see the right front tires covered up with oil from the engine, and so I think that's a good move.
Looking at Brad Keselowski, that's the white and blue car in the second row, and is that more water coming out from the overflow at the right base of the windshield?
You know what, with 10 to go, less than that now, no big deal. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think he's in good shape.
Mike, a great eye. Now, Brad Keselowski and Paul Wolfe are discussing that. Paul told him, you are going to have to come down. We can't take a chance. And Brad said, it just came off moments ago. We are good.
It looks clean from here.
9 laps to go. We've been grinding it out here in Daytona. Daytona Day is coming up, and everybody's making plans.
Hey, Rob, what are you doing for Daytona Day? I put together kind of a cool group, heavy hitters, gonna have nachos, watch the race. Oh, cool. I'm kind of a heavy hitter. I like nachos.
A week from Sunday, the Daytona 500 on Fox.
I like that. I'm kind of a heavy hitter.
The 41 car on pit road here. I'm assuming they're probably going to come in and take some tires. He got shuffled back there a little bit, and he knows he's going to have to get super aggressive here on this restart with just a few laps to go. But no tires. No tires.
No.
Maybe they're just checking something out in that
Well,
right rear.
I think he may, well, I don't know. He pulled a tear off the windshield, looked like. Wants a clear view.
And they filled it with fuel. We have new overtime rules for 2016 in the Sprint Cup Series. We used to go green, white, checker, and if the leader took the white flag under green, the next flag would end the race. That system has been changed, input through NASCAR and from the drivers. If a restart occurs with 2 or less laps to go, they will restart at the start-finish line, and that line on the back straightaway is the control line, the overtime line. If the leader reaches that line after the restart and beyond, under the green flag, then the next flag would end the race, yellow or checker. They will complete the 2 laps to make the race official, but this is a modified system from what we had last year, where we had 1 attempt on super speedways and up to 3 attempts on the shorter tracks. Now, with the new rule, we have unlimited attempts until we get a clean restart and the leader passes that line under green. We'll do it all night if we have to, and fuel mileage will come into play.
And just think about the start-finish line here at where the race is determined. That goes straight across to the back straightaway, so they've just extended that start-finish line. If you come into the new stadium here, the start-finish line actually runs through the stadium out to Speedway Boulevard out here. So they got the start-finish line identified all the way to the back straightaway.
And this is a direct response to what happened in Talladega last year when we saw, the debacle where did the caution come out, not come out? Was it a start? Was it not a start? Was it a green, white checker? Now it's NASCAR overtime. It's unlimited until they get to that line back there on the back straightaway.
1 to go to the restart. We will restart with 6 laps to go. Tomorrow we'll set the front row for the Daytona 500 live on Fox, 1 p.m. Eastern time.
My bunch of cars in the back here look like they've been running Martinsville. They got fenders torn off of them, sides caved in.
Yep, looks like it's been a short track race. Denny Hamlin's been on point for a while now. How are his team looking at this?
I think the best shot for JGR to get a win here is probably start on the bottom. That way if either line prevails, we should have 1 car up front.
Now the leader has his choice of the inside or outside lane on the restart. Most times tonight, the leader has elected the outside. Joe Gibbs with all 4 cars in the top 8 positions.
You know, I've heard a lot of comments about Denny Hamlin and what a team player he is and how he thinks about, you heard him talk about JGR and what would be best for one of these cars to win the race. I mean, he wants to win the race, obviously, but he's thinking about JGR, their team, as well. I think that's pretty impressive.
How about that Ford right behind them, Matt?
Team strategy as well. Keselowski told the spotter to pass on to teammate Joey Logano. It doesn't matter which one of us wins, but one of the Team Penske cars needs to pull it off. So we'll just play it and see how it plays out. They're not going to, pick favorites. Just whoever can do it, they're going to do.
2 Toyotas on the front row for this restart. 2 Fords in row 2. Toyota and a Chevy. Kenseth and Mears row 3. Then McMurray's Chevy and Kyle Busch's Toyota. Chevys for Larson and Dillon. That's your top 10.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see if that third JGR Toyota of Matt Kenseth is going to play a factor in this.
I've been told, and that it's played out to be true, that on these restarts, these late restarts, you need to be in the top 5 to win the race.
Green flag. 6 to go.
Really nice push from the 22 of Joey Logano to get Denny Hamlin out front. Question is, can he get up in front of his teammate, or does he want to get up in front of his teammate at this point?
Comes that 22. He has fought his way back to the front. That's pretty impressive. As Joey Logano talked about him.
Saw a really aggressive side drafting move there from Carl Edwards. That's what you're going to see a lot of in these closing laps. Guys are really going to be jockeying for position.
Oh man, did he open up? Carl made that move to the inside, didn't work, and boy, there went Keselowski right through the opening.
You got to watch your mirror on these. That was a move where he's side drafting. He's worried about how he's going to get the lead, and that 2 car just took advantage of it.
Sure did. And he's going to pay for that move.
And then comes the Chevrolet of Casey Mears.
I don't know
Ryan
if the 2
Newman
cars
has brushed
done
the
yet.
wall. 5 to go.
Tell you that 20 car, I just keep an eye on him. He just finds a way, man. He always finds a way.
Big push from the 20, but it looks like he's going to get inside the 22 here.
Boy, they are waltzing.
Oh, he didn't clear him though.
Nope.
Waltzing down that back straightaway. Woo!
Kenseth had the low lane.
Here comes help. Here comes
come
Brad.
the Penske cars on the outside, the 22 and the 2.
Now, if this is the final lap, Denny Hamlin would be really, really happy. If those guys get lined up single file, they're going to be coming with a lot of steam.
But this is what we've seen here last year. I remember just Joey sitting in front of this pack and able to control the lines. He'd go inside, outside, inside, outside.
15 cars in it to win it with 4 laps to go.
And there's definitely a bit of science to that, DW. You're absolutely right. The guys start working how you do it. Sometimes it's outside on the straightaway, inside lane on the corners, just trying to see where that momentum's coming from. But I can tell you, it's anything but easy, and it's certainly nerve-wracking.
Who's doing the most work here? The driver watching his mirrors, the spotter telling him where everybody is? Or is it a combination of things?
Right now, his eyeballs are just glued wide open. His hands and his knuckles are white, holding onto that steering wheel, trying to gather all that information. Look at all your mirrors, try to block every bit of the line of momentum, and listen to your spotter giving you non-stop information.
Denny Hamlin has held off all comers. 3 laps to go. The Ford's trying to gang up on the outside. Now Logano drops to the bottom in front of Matt Kenseth.
No.
And a car's in the wall. It is Kurt Busch.
Wow, looked like something. That looked like a tire.
Yeah, almost like that damage he had on the right rear.
Oh, there's more
something
smoke
else
up
going
ahead.
on the back straight. Big wreck.
Big wreck on the back. Holy smoly.
Wow, I did not see that.
Logano and Edwards running right at the front, and McMurray trying to sneak past.
There's Carl
Eric
Edwards.
Almirola,
Here's
Kyle Busch.
Everybody is in
Is
that
there
wreck.
anybody that didn't crash?
My.
Another
all right,
another splitter ripped off one of those cars. That grass is pretty mean back there.
Hamlin, Logano, Larson come by, along with Kenseth, Menard, and Keselowski, Dillon, and Truex. They were not involved. First, here's what happened to Kurt Busch.
What the heck?
Kurt Busch high on the outside, the black car toward the back.
Yeah, we saw him. He goes up the hill. Looks like lost the right rear tire, maybe.
Pretty good chance of that. He definitely was loose right there going in there.
And so we're watching him and what he's going to do.
Let's watch from the Goodyear blimp and see what happens at the front of the field.
Oh, wow.
Edwards and Keselowski touch.
And then they maybe touch again.
Squeeze play.
No, you know, Mears in the 13 bammed into the 2 of Keselowski and shot him into the 19 of Edwards.
I'd love to hear the 19 car spotter to see if he thought he was clear there, because he definitely squeezed that 2 up there, and I don't know if he was quite clear of him.
I believe the 13 got into the back of the 19 and drove him forward.
Easy, get middle.
You could tell right there that the 2 saw the 19 coming up and was wanting to check up, and the 13 got into the back of him, and the whole line started stacking back.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, simple.
This is looking off turn 2. When things jam up in a hurry.
Man, how many wrecks you see on the back straightaway? I mean, one right after another.
Well, and the thing that happens here late in the race, nobody's checking up. And this is when I say bumper cars at 200 miles per hour, because it really is. Nobody's going to check up. If you've got momentum, you're not about to give it up.
All right, here's Carl, and he's going to run up here, and he and Brad make a little contact.
And he really stalled the 2 out right there.
Then the 2 fights back on the outside, and they touched, but I think the 13 drove the 2 up into the 19.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like.
I think that the 2 and the 19 started making contact, and the 2 started checking up a little bit, and then the 13 had nowhere to go but in the back of him. And like I said, nobody's checking up right now.
All right, Keselowski and Austin Dillon have come to pit road.
That's some Unchained Melody right there.
Now, Paul Wolf told Jerry Kelly, the car chief, to add about 5 inches of tape back to the nose. They're going to add some fuel to the 2 car. Also, Keselowski told them to take a look at the damage possibly in the splitter area. He thought also he might have gotten a little bit. You can see them trying to push that hood down. They're going to have to try to seal that off with some big bear bond. You can see them going to work right there. Also, an update on the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Mike Wheeler told him as soon as the caution came out, save. They feel like they've got one shot here in overtime.
Man, Mike Wheeler.
You can
Mike
save.
Wheeler. He's got to be chewing his fingernails off.
You can save all you want, but Larry, the bank's not paying a lot of interest.
No, but I just believe the number of cautions we've had, even with the overtime, I still believe they're in pretty good shape. But how about this? The first race of 2016, we'll have an overtime.
That's right.
Yeah, we're going to check out this new procedure that we have that NASCAR's implemented with the NASCAR overtime. I would say that, yeah, he can handle maybe 1 overtime. I don't know if he can handle a lot of overtime.
I think we're pretty optimistic we're going to have any cars left to do overtime.
All right, let's check with Vince.
Well, Jeff Gordon described it as bumper cars, Kyle. What'd you see out there? Not much place for you to go.
No, I seen the 19 and the 2 really fighting for a spot, and from my vantage point, that's all I could see, and I could tell we were going to wreck, so I tried to check up a little bit, and then it was just on from behind me, you know, but nothing else you can do from there, I guess. But it's funny when the guys behind you get through the wreck and they're able to go on the rest of the way, you know. But I hate it for our M&M's Camry. You know, I was still kind of playing out. I was pushing to 13. We were working really good together, and I was going to push him as hard as I could to see if I couldn't get up a little bit farther to the front to give ourselves a chance to win. But hopefully one of our teammates can do it.
Thanks, Kyle. Mike.
Thanks, Vince. Teammates Denny Hamlin and Matt Kenseth right now running 1st and 4th.
Wow.
A lot of damage there for Carl Edwards, who moments before was in a position to challenge for the win. Last year in this race, half the field ended up wrecked in the garage. And we were hoping not to have a repeat of that tonight. However, that's pretty much where we are.
Well,
I'm not going to say anything about the attrition rate anymore because, like you said, business picked up.
You just become so aggressive, and you can't let up. You can't let out the throttle. You know that. You got to stay in the gas. If that means pumping a guy a little bit and trying to push him forward so you can go forward, that's what you do. Sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it works. But when it doesn't, hello.
But Jeff, bump drafting down the straightaway, I mean, that's kind of been a staple of Daytona racing for a long time. And
it has been, and you can do it. You just got to be real careful. You have to make sure you're squared up on that bumper, and if they start to weave back and forth, you got to get off of that bumper, the person in front of you. But we may have been hopeful, but the reality is I'm not surprised. I expected this to happen in this race.
I did too.
All right, let's join Matt with Denny Hamlin's crew chief.
An engineer for much of Denny Hamlin's success here at Daytona, especially in this event, and now the rookie crew chief. So Mike Wheeler, my crew chief, Larry Mack, thinks you're going to be good to go on fuel. but what do you think looking at your calculations?
I hope Larry Mack's right. You know, that's the biggest thing. I think we can do this one, but if we get some extra time here, might have to come here and pit, which kind of stinks, but, you know, we got it up front. He's running good, and I'm happy to be here.
Can you describe the excitement, but especially the nerves, your first time, especially in a situation like this?
So far, so good. It's not too bad. Luckily, it's a non-points race, and you can just have fun doing this, but hopefully we win the FedEx Toyota back to victory lane.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Here's Vince.
A little bit of frustration. We'll show you the replay with Carl Edwards. What'd you feel like happened there?
Well, Brad's still not going to lift and let me in. I learned that, but no, I'm kidding. That's from the replay I saw. It looked like that's pretty much my fault. I stuck it in here. That was a pretty high risk maneuver, and I thought, okay, now we got a shot. But I knew I had to get in front of Brad, and he got a little bit more of a run than I thought. And I could feel him, but I just shouldn't have come up that far. That's my fault. But we came down here to win this race. Had a lot of fun tonight, learned a bunch, and I'm just sorry to the guys whose cars I tore up. I had to send them an Aris modem or something, but man, I was having fun. I just, I don't know, that's the kind of race it is, man. I wouldn't feel right if I didn't try to get up there, but I just went too far.
Understand that. Thanks, Carl. Mike?
A lot of fun while it lasted for Carl Edwards. Now, tomorrow, we will set the front row for the Daytona 500 on Fox.
Tomorrow on Fox, it's Daytona 500 qualifying. Catch the sport's biggest stars as we set the starting lineup for Thursday's Can-Am duels and determine the front row for next Sunday's running of the Daytona 500. That all starts tomorrow, 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox.
You'll see all of tonight's drivers and nearly 20 more hopeful of earning one of the 40 starting positions in the 500.
Mike.
Yes.
Overtime.
We're going to overtime.
Overtime.
NASCAR style.
Yeah, baby.
All right, here's the new rule. They will wave the green flag at start finish as usual. And if it is a clean restart and the leader makes it around to the overtime line on the back straightaway without the caution flag waving, then the next flag, yellow or checkered, will end the race. If the leader doesn't get to the overtime line before the caution waves, they'll line them back up and do it again. Green flag in overtime. Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, and the rest of this field.
Now look how organized that outside lane is. Just a little bit better than that inside lane. And see if that pays off for the 22 and the 20.
I tell you, Larson fell way back there. I don't know what happened when he shifted gears. I don't know if he just lost a little momentum, I guess.
Oh, he's gonna, if he goes the outside, this thing's over for Hamlin. But he didn't. He ended up going back to the inside. Here they come on the outside, 3 wide.
And here's the overtime line.
Well, we made it to the line.
Can we make it through 3 and 4?
Now can we make it back around?
42 going to the top of the 20. 42s, their first 2 are uncovered.
Now right now with the 22 and 11 being side by side, it's anybody's race to the line. We could have a photo finish here.
White flag this time. Hamlin back to the front.
One thing I bet you Hamlin doesn't do is go below that yellow line when he gets down here for the win.
Wow.
Whoa! No, that's it.
That was all at the back. We may make it to the checkered flag. The wreck is at the tail end.
They're 2 by 2. You're clear by 2.
Leaders on the back straightaway. Coming hard. Caution waves. It's over.
Caution. Hell yeah.
25 cars started.
Just roll out.
8 cars finished.
Denny Hamlin must still make it around to the checkered flag under reduced speed, and he will be the Sprint Unlimited winner for the 3rd time in 11 tries.
What a great gamble.
Hamlin, checkered flag, wins the Sprint Unlimited over Logano.
Great job. Great job. Well done. Man, 21 caution laps. You made it happen. Lambert.
Woo. What about he's feeling good right now.
New crew chief.
Victor, thanks a lot. Got the car fixed, and
what a way to start off.
Enjoy this one, boys.
3 unlimited wins for Hamlin, 2nd most in the history of the Sprint Unlimited, as Coach Joe Gibbs leads the team prayer. It's Hamlin's 6th win at Daytona and his 5th in Speed Weeks. It'll be the 8th time That Coach Gibbs goes to victory lane in the Unlimited. Here's the mayhem on the last lap.
So it looked like Hamlin put a big block on the 27 car. The 20 gets right in there behind Menard, and then as they got into turn 1, it looked like they just ran out of room between the 20 and the 1. He was already side by side with the 2, and then caught up the 78 in that as well.
Wow, just one wreck right after another. It's amazing.
So when that little incident happened, when the 11 blocked the 27's run and the 20 was right behind him, it just stalled him out a little bit, and that one car had momentum coming right to the center. He saw an opening there. And in the closing laps of these races, as I mentioned before, you don't check up, you don't lift, you just can't. If you're going to win the race, and it's really all about winning, you got to stay in the gas even if that gap closes right in front of you.
Yeah, you just can't drive your car and the other guys. And when the other guy has trouble, you're going to hit him, and that's going to cause more trouble. So it causes a big mess. Gosh, the carnage in the garage area, for heaven's sake. The car that won the race is torn up. I mean, its whole right side is caved in.
See how much fuel he has here to do his burnout.
Oh, he got plenty of fuel.
Well, Joe Gibbs Racing has now won the Unlimited 4 of the last 5 years.
He was very kind to the beautiful grass
I
here
think he
at
got the
Daytona.
memo. He got the memo on the grass. You tear up the grass, you're going to pay for it. Just not sure about all this.
That's a lot of smoke. That's pretty awesome.
Nice delivery.
It's always nice to make your mark. First race, Daytona Speed Weeks 2016.
Look at Coach. Coach says, yeah, I think I got a handle on this deal.
Denny Hamlin's team celebrates his victory in the Sprint Unlimited.
Happy boys.
From our friends at Sprint, thanks for tuning in for some fast racing. Now, are you on the fastest network? The Sprint LTE Plus network delivers faster download speeds than most national carriers. Switch now, and you'll save 50% on most carrier rate plans. And hurry, it's a limited time offer. Visit sprint.com/50% today. Toyota ends last season with a championship, starts this season with a win, and in victory lane, Matt Yoakum is with Denny Hamlin.
He told Mike Wheeler on the radio, one race, one win, batting 1,000. I don't know what was more impressive, Denny, the block you put on Menard or the poise and composure of your rookie crew chief on the box working the fuel mileage.
I don't know if he was poised. He was poised on the radio, but we got such a young team of crew chief engineers that they all look like they're a bunch of high school kids, but they did a great job, and I'm so happy for Mike Wheeler to start 1 for 1 with a good win here at Daytona. Thank our partners. This win, first of all, couldn't be possible without my teammates. You know, Matt sacrificed so much, pushing me at the right time. There, Carl at the end as well. Total team effort, just like Kyle's championship. We win as one, and this is a Joe Gibbs Racing win. But got to thank Toyota, FedEx, Toyota for their commitment to this Daytona Rising. It's been awesome. Sprint, Coke, the Jordan brand, the Greenbrier, Sport Clips, and the fans. I mean, it's sure great to open up with a win.
Now, was it the spotter that told you, or you sensed the 27 of Menard?
Well, I mean, I knew, I had in my mind what he was going to do, and you just, you know, when the cars are closing that fast, you almost have to anticipate where they're going to go, or else you're going to get wrecked. So luckily it worked out for us. You know, this is a leader-driven race as we've seen, and luckily we were able to bring it home.
Good luck. He's looking for his first Daytona 500 next weekend. He was second 2 years ago. Jamie?
Well, Joey Logano there for a minute. I thought it was going to be a photo finish between you and Denny. You end up second, though. Looking back, is there anything you would have or could have done differently on the last lap?
I have to watch the replay, but I saw the 27 looked like he was going to try to put it 3 wide, which is a good move on his part, but I saw it, so I had to block that. And then I saw the 42 with the big run, so I went back up to get that push. And then I just seen Kyle get really loose behind me, and then there's just a lot of smoke. And at that point, you lost all your help. And there's the replay. I missed it though. But overall, I'm still proud of what this team's done. You know, it shows that we're picking up where we left off with the Shell Pennzoil Ford team here, and I'm looking forward to getting to the 500.
Well, he's defending Daytona 500 winner. He says he has a shot at the pole tomorrow, guys.
Thanks, Jamie. Let's go back upstairs to Mike and Jeff and Darrell. Only 4 of the 25 cars, Mike, not involved in a crash tonight.
And only 2 without significant damage, Logano and Larson. 25 started, and 2 can drive it in the hauler and say we're good to go. Wow.
Yeah, I thought this race had it all, just like we thought. It was Saturday night special. You saw everything. You saw a lot of crashes, and we saw an overtime. We didn't even know, why would they do this? Now we know why.
Folks at home, that was not a video game. That was real life. Those are real cars, real drivers sliding all over the place. Wow, what a wild way to get 2016 started.
Wild is the word. What a wild and what a great start for Speed Weeks for Denny Hamlin. Chris?
And, Hamlin, he had the surgery on his right knee in the offseason, right? The wreck early, he was involved. You saw the tape on lap 13. He leads the most laps with his new crew chief. This is 3rd different crew chief in the last 3 years, but Mike Wheeler was always with the team, and he says this is the last crew chief I'll ever have. And after this start, I think they're on a pretty good connection here.
Denny loves Wheeler. Wheels, they call him. They've got a great relationship. They complete each other's sentences. I talked to Denny earlier today. He said, I don't know what to expect. I haven't raced since November. How am I going to do tonight? I have no idea. Looks like he did pretty good. That move to block the big run Paul Menard had was pretty amazing.
And we know this is the setup, or at least a sampling of the Daytona 500. Tomorrow will set the front row. Denny Hamlin at age 35, he's been close on a championship, hasn't won a Daytona 500. What do you expect from him and some of the others trying to get that position for the running of the Great American Race?
You just look at the crew chief driver combination. Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus, the magic that they had. Dave Rogers, the guys that have won championships. Kyle Busch. Those relationships kind of get you over that to the next level. And I think that's what can exactly happen with Mike Wheeler and Denny Hamlin. They will be a solid team all season long.
As they continue to celebrate here at the start of the 2016 NASCAR Fox season, and tonight on Fox, late local news, animation, domination, and high definition after that. And tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern from Daytona, will be here for a couple of hours. Michael Waltrip will hop in a car and try and set himself up to be in the dual races Thursday, which you'll see on FS1. For Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers, welcoming Jeff Gordon to the NASCAR Fox broadcast team with Denny Hamlin, the FedEx Toyota the winner. Thanks for being a part of NASCAR on Fox.
Want to send these boys and girls off? Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
Oh, around. That's hard in the wall. Hamlin, checkered flag, wins the Sprint Unlimited.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.